What's up, y'all? You are listening to For the Artist Say podcast brought to you by Creative and Projects. I'm your host, Melissa Sharee. I have two amazing and wonderful people with me today. Okay. I'm meeting them for the first time, but I already know they're amazing and wonderful. So y'all can take my word for it. Now, these are recent college graduates, Celena Lena and her brother Tytist. Okay. Listen, they came together to form a duo group as siblings. Okay, that's where you insert the little emoji mind blown. I'm gonna tell you why in a second. They launched Sis N Lil Bro. They collaborated during the pandemic to create a debut EP, and they completed it from start to finish in 1 week, y'all. We're gonna have to find out how they did that. It's a 7-song EP release in 2020, and it featured ear catchy songs like Okay, which I just listened to today. Okay, and I do like that song. I will be playing it. I'm gonna add it to my beast mode workout playlist. But anyway, it sent a message to their generation that everything will be okay. Yes, you hear those snaps. Also featured are songs like Majestic, Loco, and Lego. We can get into that, but they're only 22 and 24. They're making a big impact among their peers, and they continue to flood the industry with endless music and visual content. Listen, this is the first ever hip hop act to be signed to Tribl Records, home of Maverick City, and the first biological brother sister hip hop duo in the country, specializing in positive and inspirational content. Y'all, I could go on and on, but you should need to know that they are international. Okay. They have an ability to connect with students and culture beyond the music in a more personal level. And let's just get into their story and how they got started. What's up? Say hello, y'all.
What up? What up?
What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? It's Girl Lena.
You guys are so chill on here, okay? But I listened to that Okay song, and there's nothing chill about that song. Y'all keep it hype in your music. Are you just chill today, or are you bring the hype in your music, but you're like chill? Really, you know, sometimes people have like a dual thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I'm super hype, and Tytist is chill.
Okay.
Selena's hyping us. No, don't worry about it. Trust me, it's coming.
And so Sis is obviously the older, mature one, right?
In my own ways. Yeah, Tytist is super mature too. So yeah.
She's older. We'll give her that. She's older.
Yeah, I mean, it just blows my mind. Listen, I have a brother. He is 2 years younger. And the thought of working with him on the regular, he would not want to work with his sister. Let me just tell you, he's like, girl, you need to go somewhere. How did this happen? How are you guys able to work together so closely?
I'll answer that. So we come from a musical family. So our whole family's done music through both of our lifetimes growing up. So it kind of came natural. I started off as a studio engineer, so I was always behind the scenes and never wanted to be a rapper or anything like that. But Celena did. She had that passion out of the blue, out of nowhere. I think she was like 16 years old, and she told our dad, "Hey, I want to rap." And she did a little tryout in the living room in front of the family, and the rest is history from there. So I actually started writing for her because I knew how to write, I knew how to record, I knew how to sing and rap, but I never wanted to be kind of out there and be front stage like that. So I would kind of help Celena in her writing process and stuff like that. So she actually started as an individual artist before me. She started in 2016. And then I had a little change of heart and said, okay, if she can do it, I can probably do it. So I started writing for myself and putting stuff out. So we were individual artists for a little bit. And then, as you mentioned, in 2020, a few years after we had started individually, we came together as a duo group because a lot of people liked our sound together. It was like a signature Sis N Lil Bro sound. So we just started collaborating on everything that we could, and it just blew up since then. So
Wow, I'm just in love with y'all just based off of that facts alone. Okay. So you said you grew up in a musical family. So what does that mean? What does that look like?
yeah, so our dad actually had been doing hip hop for about 20 plus years. And we actually had an older brother, KJ, who started when he was 9 years old, that was doing Christian hip hop. And he was doing that for about 15 years before we came up on the scene. So, and then my mother does spoken word poetry. So everybody in the family had something that they were doing. And we kind of grew into it, if you will. So we were chilling, doing our own school thing, athletics, like normal kids. And then eventually we said, okay, let's get started in the music like the rest of the family. So
yeah, we'll say me and Tytist, we work really well together. I'm honestly blessed that he's by my side when it comes to the music stuff. Like, he brings the best out of me, and I'd say that I do the same for him. Yeah, when it comes to like delivering like projects on time and stuff like that, he keeps me in line. And for me, like, I bring more the energy. So I guess I bring out more of his like social media side. He don't even like to be on social media like that. I'm a social media guru. So we like bring the best of each other, you know, when it comes to being artists.
Mm. So Celena, you started at 16. You was like, I want to rap. Where did that come from? Did you see somebody rapping? I mean, obviously you did because it's in your family, but what was it about rap that you were like, I can do this and I want to do this?
Honestly, every time people ask me that question, like, it's so random. I can't even pinpoint the reason in the beginning as to why I wanted to. God just gave it to me one summer. You know, I just randomly came up to my dad. I was like, yo, I got this crazy idea. You know what I'm saying? I was like, let me rap for God too. Let me spit some bars too. Like, I can really rap. And he just looked at me and he was just like, yeah, right. Like, okay, if you're serious about it, you know, write your own rap and then perform it in front of the whole family in the living room. And Tytist was there, Lil Bro was there. So he saw my very first time that I rapped out loud. And ever since then, I got into the studio and we just kept going from there. But I remember listening to like Nicki Minaj all the time, you know, like I always sung along to her stuff. And then I was inspired by my dad and our older brother KJ when I would watch them perform. So it just came at a random time, but I always admired the craft of art. I mean, of not of art, but of rap.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I also am wondering, I mean, you could have went in a lot of different ways when it comes to rap in terms of genre, style, you know what I mean? But you guys chose Christian. So why did you choose Christian?
I'll say this and then Tytist, you can go ahead. I'll just say this little thing and then just give it to Lil Bro. But I would say I didn't choose it. Like, it chose me. Like, God chose me. So that's my short answer. But yeah.
I thought you was gonna go on, but okay.
No, that's like, it didn't choose. I mean, I didn't choose it. Like, it chose me.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I don't think I've been asked that, which is pretty cool. It's interesting. But I think the reason why, I think there's two answers to it. One, I would say it's not only Christian. I think Christian is the basis of our music. I think it's the foundation. I think that we like to exemplify our faith and really tell the story about that and how we've been saved from some situations and how we've been given grace and things like that. But at the same time, we just want to be an influence to our generation and our culture with so many things going on that's destructive and tearing people down and causing anxiety and depression and stress like that. There's another voice that needs to be out there that builds people up. So sometimes our message is like, hey, we want to tell you about God and the gospel and this and that. But other times it's just something positive, like, hey, don't do these drugs, or hey, don't talk to women like this, or hey, be a friend to somebody, pick somebody up and encourage them. But we do so in a way that appeals to the mainstream crowd, where it's not a turnoff if we say Jesus in our music or anything like that. So we want to keep it as direct as possible, but also appeal to all people, because we know that people come from different backgrounds and have different beliefs like that. So we try to keep it open-ended like that. So I think part of it is us just realizing what we're surrounded by in the generation we live in, but also just having a passion to have a voice that actually says something that's meaningful that people can listen to when they're riding with their kids in the car and stuff like that and not feel uncomfortable. So
Wow, that really resonates with me because the part about influence, because creative and projects is all about influence and artists having influence in a positive way. So I'm even more curious now as to, obviously you spoke about your faith, but it's like, what is it that makes you like want to be a voice or want to have influence in that way? Because, and then also like, why is that even really important or essential, and do you feel like that is important and essential for most artists or all artists, because not everybody has that kind of a heart when it comes to what they're doing with
Mhm.
whatever their craft is?
Yeah, for me, it's my background, like the way that I was raised. I give all my credit to, like, as far as who I am, I give that credit to my grandmother. I call her Lula because Lula means grandmother in the Filipino language because I'm half Filipina. But my Lula Margie, she just raised. Oh, are you? I saw you do like a happy dance. Are you like part Filipino?
Yes.
Oh
My
my, let's
grandmother, my dad's
go.
mom.
Let's go. What you said? Who is your mom?
My dad's mom.
Wow, that's
She
so
passed
dope.
though. She passed when I was
Wow.
young, so I only got to be around her, for a little bit, but yeah.
Wow, that's dope. This is gonna work out real nice. No, but yeah, so I give all my credit to my Lula Margie. She raised me with very good values, to see the world in a beautiful way. I know what it's like to feel loved and cared for, like I was raised with those um the kind of wisdom that just comes with older people. You know what I'm saying? Like family is important, like loving God's important, education is important, just those core values in life is what I was raised with. And at the same time, like I grew up listening to all these rappers, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody listens to like Drake, pop culture, like
Mhm.
Beyonce, you know what I'm saying? Like Rihanna. I love all their music. Um, and I vibe out to it with my friends and stuff. But there's a lot of these rappers these days, you know what I'm saying? Like you got the 6ix9ines and other artists like that, and you listen to their message, they got dope beats, good melodies, but their words just honestly just irk me. Like, so that's when you ask, like, why do you have a passion to like have a voice? It's because I want to change the narrative of hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So like good lyrics can be just as dope as that other stuff, but it's just not talking about sex, money in a greedy way, drugs, you know what I'm saying? Like we have something to offer and it's not what everybody else has.
Yeah, I think just to add on to that, I think Celena hit it really on that last point, just having something to offer. Obviously, we could have chose hip hop and done what typical rappers do, which is rap about their possessions and rap about greed and stuff like that. But there's not many people who are rapping about positive and inspirational stuff that encourages one another and builds people up and tells a personal story. You asked, I don't know what you said verbatim, but you asked why be influential. And I think the world kind of needs it. There's so many people who do music about stuff that doesn't really exist in their life. Like they rap or sing about things that they cannot relate to. And it sends the wrong message. It's kind of like social media nowadays. People see something and they just automatically assume, oh, this person's rich, oh, this person has that because they go on vacations every week. But what you see in one frame isn't always true behind the scenes. So we always want to be transparent and open and honest with our lifestyle, in addition to our music. So we try to live out the things that we say in our music and really be examples outside of just lyrics and beats and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up. So, because you guys grew up in a like a musical family, I mean, and it sounds like your family was very supportive of you going in the direction of music, which is
Mhm.
not always the case for artists. Oftentimes you hear stories about people and they have a lot of pushback from family members, like, no, don't be doing that, do something else. So, would you say because you had that kind of a support that like it's been easy for you to get to where you are now musically?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Like we're standing on the shoulders of our dad, Cross. He's a pioneer of Christian hip hop, especially here in Minnesota. And our brother, we're standing on our brother's shoulders, KJ, that's years of hard work and dedication and paving a way in the specific genre of Christian hip hop music in the first place. So, you know, when we get booked for shows, when we have connections with, you know, people in California, Hollywood, this and that, like that all comes from all the work of the years that were laid before us to be able to walk the path that we're walking right now.
Tytist, you agree? It's been easy?
Yeah, I agree. She said it. I ain't got to add on.
You know, I don't want to leave anybody out when I ask a question. I got to hit both of y'all.
She hit it. She hit it for sure.
All right. So, but the things that you're singing about, there's some heavy stuff in those lyrics. So while your path to music may have been easy in a sense comparatively, life hasn't necessarily been easy, or has it? Y'all living the easy life too?
I ain't gonna say I'm living an easy life. I'm definitely living a blessed life. I'm fortunate to be involved in a lot of things. Sometimes I take it for granted and get overwhelmed about it. But when I compare myself to some of my peers and the things that they got going on or the things that they're pursuing, sometimes I can like congratulate myself and be proud of myself. Like you mentioned, we both graduated recently, so that's a big accomplishment that we pat ourselves on the back for. But also I'm a student athlete too, so I play college ball. So that's fun to be able to do that, do the music. I'm getting my grad degree currently, so staying involved in that. Just a lot of things going on. So while I can be busy and overwhelmed sometimes of having to do multiple full-time things and not really take many breaks, I'm also blessed with a lot of opportunities that a lot of my peers can't say they were blessed with, or experiences that they can't relate to. So it's bittersweet, but at the same time, I try to see it as a glass half full rather than empty.
So Tytist, what are you getting your degree in? You're in grad school. What are you getting your degree in?
Yeah, I'm getting my grad degree, an MBA with the concentration in innovation and entrepreneurship.
Okay, yes, I snap with you, Celena. Okay, all that. And Celena, what'd you get your degree in?
Business administration.
Okay, y'all got the business minds going on. I love it. We about that kingdom business.
Yeah,
but
no, sorry, no. I like your last question, and I'll say my answer to it. As far as, you know, has your life been easy? Like Tytist, like I'm really blessed right now in life. But I'm a human, you feel me? So I definitely like have things that I struggle with. I mean, one thing is like I'ma always be grieving. So like my grandmother that I mentioned earlier, my Lula Margie, she passed away April 2nd, 2021. And so, you know, she's my best friend, like literally like the most important person in my life. And she, you know, passed away because of kidney failure. But she was blessed to have a very long life. And I was very close to her. So, you know, like honestly, like just the other day, like I cried about her, and I hadn't did that in a long time, you know. But God like walks with me through that. So like grief is just something that is so devastating that we all have to face. It's something that like not a lot of people, I guess, not a lot of people check on you about unless they really like know, but it's just a pain that is just so indescribable, you know. But I'm glad that I have God in my life, because I know that like one day we'll all be together again, you know. And for me to be able to like smile today and do these interviews, like that's a blessing. That's like the type of strength that comes from God, you know. And between Tytist and I, this year we're both putting out new songs literally every week between us both. So Tytist, he has a song coming out like this week, and I have another song coming out the next week. And so like with the new music that I'm putting out, I want to put out more of the things that I've been going through, you know. And that's just one of them, is like the grief, but like there's more.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that was so loaded. I got a couple of things that came to me right now. So y'all bear with me. Okay, because the first is like, just in terms of like the grief and the death aspect. It's like, you know, you think about death, and I mean, I've thought about death since I was a kid. You know what I mean? Think about heaven, we think about hell, like all that stuff. But I feel like ever since the pandemic, I'm not kidding you guys, like I literally think about death every single day. Like that's new for me because I didn't used to think about death on the daily like that. I don't know if you guys can relate to that.
Mhm.
And then there was something else that you said. Okay, I got two more things. One is, first of all, y'all releasing songs every single week, alternating between the two of you. So you have to give some little wisdom or golden nuggets for somebody listening that's like, you know what? I'm on my third year and I can't get my song out. Like, how are you guys doing it? How are you making that happen? What is the discipline involved?
I think the more music you make, I think the more music you make, the more you write, the more that you immerse yourself in that craft, the easier it becomes. Now, I can't promise that and say it's true for everybody, but I know for myself and other artists that I've talked to, a lot of times just the thought of making a song or completing it or getting it done, oh, I got to write 2 verses, 3 verses, write a chorus, record it. Like when you think about it, it can sound wholesome and overwhelming, but once you get started, you really, especially if you got a passion for it, it really starts to come to you and you get excited about it. And it doesn't become work or anything, or a job or anything, but it becomes more fun for you. So I think with us, especially for me, I just been trying to pump out songs quick, like write 3-4 songs a week and stash them up and get ready to release. So especially with these new ones that I have coming out soon, it was actually fun creating them because I felt like, man, when I put this out, this is gonna be my best song. But then I write another, and then I get on the process of trying to write another song, and I'm like, dang, how am I gonna top that last one? And somehow I end up liking it more than the last one. So I think if it's any artists out there, people struggling to want to create music or any craft that they got going, really just get started. Don't procrastinate. You never know what'll come out of it. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just by the way, I listened to Tytist's song that's coming out this week, and it's fire. Like it's hard. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Like I'm proud of you, little bro, because that's hard.
Peace, peace.
But the balance, where are you finding the balance? I mean, because you're in school, you're an athlete. So it's like, do you specifically carve out time and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna be writing between this time and this time? I mean, what does that look like for you in a practical sense?
Yeah. Well, very, like I said, it's easy for me to say I got so much going on, I can't do it. But again, it's like I like the feeling of the reward. Once it's done, it's done. Once you have it
Mm-hmm.
out, you can hear your story and things like that. And it's like it comes down to how determined you are, how bad you want it. And then the importance of your message. Like I don't like sitting on music because when I hear it, I feel like it needs to come out. I feel like other people need to hear it. So as far as devoting time to it, it's on my top priority list, if you will, quote unquote. I
Okay.
try to write my music or at least do melodies when I'm driving in the car, try to save some time wherever I go. And then the writing part of it, it comes pretty easy once I get started. Like I said, sometimes starting it off is a little terrifying, but as we get going, it gets easier and I can knock a song or 2 out per day. So
Yeah, for
Same.
me. Go ahead. Oh, listen.
No, I was gonna ask you, Celena. Same for you.
Yeah, for me, I love to schedule everything, but sometimes I find it difficult because art is not something that you can schedule. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're in the process of creating music, creating art, um, you can set aside time to do it, but to be like, oh, I'm gonna start this song and finish this song within an hour and a half. It's like it's not a 9 to 5 job. You feel me? Like it's about expressing your thoughts and feelings and making sure you get the right lyrics and the right melodies like that. You can't Sometimes you can't rush art. But you have to balance that out between, especially with what we're doing, how we're releasing every other week. It's like we have to just make sure that you know throughout everything else that we're doing, we're just making sure to get in, ideas or like voice recordings, like Titus said, he drives and then, has melodies maybe, and then he'll probably pull out his phone and then record what he's humming and then come back to it later when he has time.
Mm-hmm. So you guys are signed. Yeah, you're signed to Tribal. So what were you recently signed or you've been signed for a minute?
what was that? August, I want to say. So we recently
Yeah.
signed with Tribal. One Way Entertainment is still our home record label. It's a partnership deal basically. So Tribl, we came along on board with Tribl in August of 2022. Dang, it's crazy. These years are flying. So yeah, August of 2022. So it's been about almost 6 months now. Yeah.
Okay. And do you feel like the pressure to produce changed once you signed, or was it business as usual and that's just like an added perk to your life?
I will say definitely the pressure definitely picked up, but it made us better. It made us better. I remember when we first got into an action plan with Tribl, like we was literally making like 6-7 posts a day, on every single platform. So like we definitely had to step up, but also it's just continuing to make us better artists in the long run. Like this is just the beginning for us. And our record label, One Way Entertainment, is just we getting better and better. So it's all good.
Okay. So this is just the beginning. What is it that you guys see for yourself in terms of, where you're heading or where you want to go with music?
I think there's a lot of things developing and in development now. I think the as Celena said, releasing music each week, just trying to get people familiar with our sound. We're a fairly new group, if you will. I mean, like we said, 2020 is when we collaborated together to form Sis N Lil Bro. Just signed with Tribl about 6 months ago, and then our debut album with Tribl is actually coming out March 17th. So it's called Versatility. Versatility, and it's available for pre-sale now and pre-save. So we're really gearing up for that and see where that takes us. So we're really excited. I think it's 15 songs on that record. So
13.
13. Okay, so yeah, it's called Versatility. So it's a very diverse and versatile album that has music for all types of listener. I mean, there's Afrobeat stuff on there, there's chill alternate music on there, there's trap stuff on there. Like it's a whole bunch of good music on there. So excited for the album. Obviously podcasts, the things we got going. We actually have a Sis N Lil Bromance podcast in addition that we recently launched, where we talk about life, God, and music, and just talk about the experiences of our peers and invite them in a room. So we love having conversations with people. And then, like Celena said, the content creation, keeping that going. So it's so many things, the different avenues that we have going on concurrently with one another. And then even the booking opportunities. I'll let Celena speak on that. But as summer approaches and the weather gets warmer, we got a lot of concerts coming up.
Yeah, for sure. Like this year, we're definitely.
Oh, you said booking.
Yes, like show bookings. So we're definitely going to be touring. The third weekend of February, actually, I'll be in North Carolina at Johnson Wales University for a full-blown concert. Lil Bro, he can't perform with me. I'm sad because he's gonna be tending to his university duties in Ohio. Once Tytist is done with his school year and everything, him and I will be performing together in concert. Just touring the country and doing different shows. Just pretty much everywhere. So we're really, really excited about that, and I'm glad that he mentioned our podcast. It's on YouTube, by the way, so y'all just subscribe to Sis N Lil Bro on YouTube. But we're putting out a new episode every 2 weeks on a Sunday, so we'll got that coming too.
That's what's up. I can't wait. I want to see y'all. Which reminds me, yes, y'all that are listening, they're not in LA, okay? They're not in California. Y'all are technically, is that considered East Coast? Is it far enough over to be considered East Coast?
Selena's in Minnesota right now. We relocate. We travel so much that we don't settle. I would say I'm in the East Coast because I'm in Ohio. Selena's back and forth between Minnesota and Louisville, so Midwest.
Yeah, I was gonna say we in the West. This is not East Coast, bro.
I'm on Eastern time, so I consider myself East Coast, to be honest.
Okay, if you Eastern time, that is East Coast.
Thank you.
Come on now.
Yeah.
I didn't realize y'all weren't in the same state.
I mean, yeah, I guess I always think of East Coast as, New York, like all those on the actual coast. But
Ooh, Ooh, you hardcore. You like, you need to be on the coast for me to be considering you East Coast. No wonder it took a minute to coordinate. Y'all, we got 3 different time zones going on right now, I think, don't we?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
Wow. But we made it happen.
We did.
Right.
And y'all made it happen. So when are you going to be finishing school? The end of this year, Tytist?
Yeah. So okay, so it's actually pretty cool. My grad degree is all online, which is great. I'm actually physically on campus because I play basketball for the university. So once the season's over, technically I can do everything on the road. So I'll probably be out of here around March and be doing some touring while doing some online classwork through the end of summer. So I'll finish up in
Okay.
August.
And you guys don't have to do any side jobs for a hustle. You can just do music and you can make
Yeah,
ends
I'm
meet.
I'm I'm full-time artist right now. So I'm honestly having a fun time with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't got no kids, so I'm like I'm good. Like this is the time in life to be pursuing this like this, So yeah.
Plenty of work to do. So luckily we can immerse ourselves in all this stuff we got going on. It takes up a lot of
Mhm.
time. So for sure.
Okay, okay. Y'all are just so bright, okay? Those smiles, the energy, all that. But I really appreciate it too, Celena. We were talking earlier, you're talking about your grandmother,
Mhm.
your Lula. I feel like I want to meet her. But I was gonna say, yeah, a lot of times there's not a huge, how do I articulate it? It's like sometimes when people are going through things, it's like there's almost like these things that people go through that are expected to be like heavy, like they're common, they're similar stories that people can relate to. But if you don't have a similar relatable, I can't think of better way to say it other than sob story, then it's almost like, yeah, you know what, it's not really that bad. Like, like your life is
Right.
not bad at all, you're not going through anything. But I love that you highlighted the fact that there is this human experience and everybody is really going through, there's something that we're walking through, you know and regardless of whether or not it seems heavy to someone else, doesn't lessen the fact that it might be heavy for us at the time that we're going through it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like no, it does make sense 100% because sorry. Yeah, the thing about it is like social media, it makes people think that we don't, like you said, go through really, really hard situations. Like, and grief is just something that can be really, really isolating. And it's just one of those things where like, if like if you've lost somebody that you love so dearly, the only people that will be able to relate to you truly and like see you is the people that also lost somebody close to their heart. And to everybody else, because I would have times just thinking about that where or just processing how she's like not on this earth anymore. Like it's just like, dang, like this whole world just goes on as if nothing ever happened, um which is so crazy.
Mhm.
um but that's why it's so important to like to be real with people. And that's why it's so important to have people around you who really like check up on you, you know like they'll if even like I have a best friend named Dosa. Me and her, we always check up on each other from time to time. Like even though we're adults and she's busy, she's married and this and that, like she'll hit me up and be like, how are you doing? And those little things matter. Just asking like, how are you doing? You know, out of nowhere, because
Mhm.
life gets so busy, especially in our society in America, where it's like, okay, like we're independent society, you know what I'm saying? Just like go, go, go. What's the next meeting? What's the next thing to do? Cross this off your list. Like sometimes you have to just really like slow down and have people just check on you out of nowhere, because we just get lost in the momentum of doing everything. But we really be going through stuff, y'all. And don't ever think that you're alone in going through something. it seems like that, but you're really not. You have to find your way to people who's going through something similar, because everybody gets somebody. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
I have to ask, okay, how, and this is for both of y'all to answer. Now, what sort of things do y'all do to intentionally like feed your souls and take care of yourself and make sure that you're good? Is there anything that you guys do
That's
on a regular basis?
Yeah,
Or like what does that look like for both of y'all?
it's a good question. Goodness. I think just being part of the Christianity faith, going to church is important. I think a lot of people, just with the way the world is evolving today, some people who traditionally believed in God and going to church now feel the need, or now feel that there's no need for church. But the Bible talks about how we should surround ourselves with other believers in the place of worship. So I think going to church is always a great activity and way to reset. Obviously, when it's weekly, sometimes people get used to it and take it for granted. But if you haven't been in a while, or you skip out on a couple of weeks, when you really go and try to worship and really make it intentional and listen to the word and see what you can take from it, I think that really sets the tone for whatever's to come that week or whatever happened that past week. So definitely going to church is one for me. Staying immersed in the Bible and just reading, but not just reading as a to-do list item or saying I did my devotional today, but really trying to find something that you can use, something you can apply. So doing that, and then I hope it don't sound cliche, but I use my own music as therapy. Um, for real, like, I mean, like I said, when I write my music, I hope that people can relate to it. I hope they listen to it and really feel something. I hope they enjoy it and can vibe to it, but I also hope that it inspires them. It makes them a little more happy if they're feeling sad. So like, even for myself, like writing about experience, I wrote one song called Write Your Own Story. And it's about how I got to college and playing basketball. Like I had no offers coming out of high school, no interest, nothing like that. But somehow I walked onto a Division I team and went to 3 NCAA tournaments. So like, even re-listening to that song, it's like, dang, how did I get here? Like I can't lose faith or like doubt myself or forget like how gracious God has been. So that's just one song of the many, but even using my own music and listening to Celena's music and just all types of artists, I love the power and the spirit of music. So being able to listen to different songs that can really settle you down, lock you in, and then just taking time to rest. Like I said, the overwhelming factor is one thing, but really getting that rest, that Sabbath that everybody needs and deserves, that God created, that's important. So every now and then when you can take a break, rest, relax, spoil yourself, that's good. So I do that sometimes.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
I've been taking care of myself. I've been intentional lately about taking care of myself. Um, Even just these couple of days, these few days of me waking up at 5 just to get an early start in the day and like pray, have like alone time with God, and then like work out for about 45 minutes to an hour. Like I feel good about myself. Um and then eating healthy is another good thing too, because we are human beings. Like we gotta tend to every need that we have, spiritually, physically, mentally, socially. Like we have to tend to all those areas of our lives to be the best that we can. And Tytist, I like what you said when you said that you listen to your own music for what'd you say, for like inspiration, or not for or inspiration,
As therapy.
therapy. Yeah. You actually made me think of how somebody, her name is Ebony, she reached out to me because she listened to my song that I put out last week. It's called Wishy Washy. That's the first song that I put out on myself as an independent artist. Um And so the message of wishy-washy is basically like, okay, so wishy-washy means that you don't know where you stand on anything. You know what I'm saying? That means that you're up one day, down the next, like you go left and right, like you just don't stand on anything. Like you blow with the wind, basically. So my hook or chorus is like, they can't call me wishy-washy. And basically in the song, I'm just talking about how, for me, one thing that I know that I'm firm and stand on is that God is real, and that he's made himself real to me. And so that's something that I will never be wishy-washy about. But also in my verse, I said that, you know, I'm only human, like I'm only human. So I doubt sometimes, like I experience doubt because I'm human. And when she listened to that song, she said it took her to like a place, it made her feel something. Like she said, you know, at first, like I felt salty because you were saying, oh, they can't call me wishy-washy. And she feels sometimes like she's wishy-washy in her faith. But then she said that when she listened to the whole song, she basically felt like she knows that it's a journey and she's not alone in standing firm in what she believes in. So she just hit me up and she was like, thanks for, like, that's a dope song, you know what I'm saying? Like it has a great message, but it just reminded me to like know that it's okay to doubt sometimes. And you know, like I have to remember like who I am for one and whose I am. And so music is definitely so powerful, and that really encouraged me. Anytime somebody reaches out to me and lets me know like how they felt about a song, or you know how they took it, like that just makes me a better artist and a better person. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have to start wrapping up, but I had a thought while you were talking. When you guys are writing your songs and your music, um what does it look like in terms of other voices or other people giving you feedback about your song? Like, and this is like pre-release, right? So it's
Yeah.
like somebody telling you, I don't know about that line, I don't know about this, why don't you change that, have you thought about this? Or you know what I mean? Like, how do you guys deal with that in terms of your process?
Selena,
Who
you
wants
want
to
to
go
go?
first? Titus, I think you want to go first because
I kind of
your
do, but
eyes
I kind
got
of want
big.
to hear Selena say. Selena, do you want to go first?
No, you can go first. I go.
Oh, that's funny. I don't like it. I don't like critique. I'm not gonna lie. Like I hear something and I know the way I want to hear it, but it is what it is. Being an artist, you can't be your only critique. Even our dad, like you mentioned earlier, having the support of the family. With support comes criticism too, and you have to take it the right way. I don't think, especially the ones you love, I don't think they criticize you to put you down, but they criticize you to make you better. So trying to realize that and understand and really hear out people and what they're saying. I mean, like I said, music's my own therapy and it's great to listen to my own music, but at the end of the day, somebody else got to stream it. Somebody else got to help you support it, whether that's financially or what have you. So even pitching in my songs to my friends, bro, you rapping too fast. You rap fast on every song, bro. You ain't got no metaphors in your songs. Like, you listen, Lil Baby, he do this, he do that. It's like, all right, I hear you. So like, it's interesting. I have to be honest, I don't like critique, but I totally understand it. And I've learned to accept it. Definitely. The more we grow, obviously, the more people who are willing and able and are as good or even better than you at writing songs or producing songs or just that whole creative process. So being open to that is an area that I know myself and Celena are growing in. So I can't say that it's a fun process, but it's definitely one that we're both growing into. So it's all
Yeah.
right. It's definitely, I'll say this, it's definitely helped me. Like even I'm trying to see, probably in the last 7 or 8 months, I've pitched some songs to my friends and say, hey, what do you think about this? Do you like this? Would you rock with this? Whatever. And they gave me some honest feedback and it's helped me adjust some of my songs and write different styles, write different ways, add more meaningful lyrics, this and that. So I think it's made me a better artist. So like I said, I totally understand it and I actually appreciate it. So
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Tytist because I don't like the process of of critique either, especially when it's like your own art. Um, But at the same time, like since we're professional artists and we're growing to be professional artists, like you have to be open to criticism, because there's so many other people that are verified, or they have a lot of credibility and they've been walking this out for a long time, longer than you have. And so you have to take their criticism with wisdom. So you have to be humble when it comes to that. But it's like when it comes to taking criticism, I walk this fine line between, okay, I'm the artist in my songs. I'm the one who has to be accountable to what I say and how I make people feel, So, I have a sense of entitlement to my creative freedom as an artist, right? Because like it's my experiences, it's my thoughts, this and that. But at the same time, you also have to be open to criticism because, it makes you better. Like, that's why it's important to have a team around you, because you can get the best out of a lot of different minds versus just one. So I'm just figuring out how to stay true to my creative freedom, but also know that like everybody on my team is for me. And so just being reminded of that, as long as you're being heard by your team, I think that's what makes me okay with like the criticism.
And I'll throw this out there. It's like if you think about athletic teams or life, people have coaches. Like you have your coaches, you have your support staff, you have your life coach, your mentors. It's like why switch it up when it comes to music? You should have a team around you that supports you, that encourages you, that gives you feedback. There's no problem with that. So definitely for any artists out there that are listening, definitely find your team of people who are really invested in you and your music. That'll offer that feedback. And it doesn't have to be criticism. It can be appreciation and encouragement. But specifically speaking of what you asked, definitely find that team.
Yes, that was a great transition, because I was going to say it's so interesting. What's that phrase where it says life imitating art or art imitating life? Because I feel like how we function, like with our art or our craft, it almost like mirrors or parallels how we function just like in the real, like on the daily. Like our being open to feedback, criticism, or whatever with our music is probably the exact way that we are just in general with being open to people about like other things. Don't you think?
Yeah, I agree.
It's like it's not isolated. So it's kind of something to pay attention to. But all right, so what do y'all want to shout out in terms of things that are coming up soon? I know you already shouted out something, Celena. Why don't you shout it out again, because you have a performance coming up, but you might have some other things that you want to let people know about.
Yeah, for sure. So shout out to Johnson Wales University. Everybody in the North Carolina area, y'all watch out for me because I'm performing the third weekend of this month in February. So I'll be flying there, and it's going to be an hour-long concert. So I'm going to get to spend a lot of time with y'all out there. But make sure you guys are following me and Tytist on all social media platforms. We got Instagram, TikTok, everything is at Sis N Lil Bro. So it's spelled WESISNLILBRO. Sis, the letter N, and then Lil Bro. And then our podcast too, Tytist. You can shout out our podcast, the Sis N Lil Bromance.
Yeah, like Celena said, Sis N Lil Bromance podcast. Shout that out. Like we said, we just kicked it off in 2023, where we have some great discussions. And we don't want to be artists that just do music. We want people to actually see the personal lives and be open with them and tell them about our experiences and what we go through and our thoughts, and hear their thoughts. It's funny, like some people view artists as, oh my God, they don't care about what we have to say. We can listen to them, but they don't want to hear us. And that's not true, especially from our standpoint. So we love to have conversations and talk about different stuff. So definitely the podcast. Like Celena said, the concerts we got coming up, hopefully it's in a city near you. If you follow us.
Tytist, you gotta tell him to subscribe, bro. Like,
did I not say subscribe?
No, you didn't say
okay,
subscribe. Y'all gotta subscribe to the YouTube channel. Y'all
subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the
Yes.
YouTube channel. Like Celena said, it's Sis N Lil Bro, SIS, the letter N, LILBRO, Sis N Lil Bromance. If you follow us on the social media, you'll see it there too. So subscribe, follow, like, comment, share, do all that on everything. And then
appreciate the versatility.
I was gonna say that too. I was gonna say
That's
that.
because
Yes. Like Celena said, y'all pre-save the Versatility album is coming March 17th, but it's available now, so you don't have to wait till then. So go get that. And then these new songs dropping every week. I mean, like, we got a lot of stuff going on, so you got to stay tuned in with us by following the social media and staying connected. And then want to give a final shout out to Melissa for having us on here and the For the Artist podcast. It was a blast. So thank you. You had some great questions that I had never gotten before. So it was a fun discussion. I'm on
Well,
here
I
with two
enjoyed it.
Filipinos.
What'd you say? The last part, Tytist?
I'm on here with two Filipinas, so I guess I'm left out a little bit, but it's all right.
Never. Okay. You are never left out. Shoot, I just lost my thought. What was it? Oh, but the subscription thing is real. It's like, yes, they got to subscribe because there's a lot of things you can't even do with the platform unless you have a certain number of subscribers. So, you know what? It's not going to kill y'all to hit subscribe. I feel the same way about some of the stuff that we got. So subscribe to their channel. Do you guys have a website too?
SisandLilBro.com.
You heard it, sislilbro.com, but it's LIL, y'all, not little, okay? Not with the two T's. Gotta keep it real now. So yes, well, this was fun. I would love to talk to you guys again. Maybe next time in person. Okay. I'm gonna just drop that little seed out there. But all right, well, shoot, the time has gone by quickly. And we're all on different times. So I'm not even going to attempt to say what time we're all on, but we will wrap it up. So y'all, you know what? I have just really enjoyed. We've been talking to Tytist and Celena of Sis N Lil Bro. And you have been listening to For the Artist. It's a podcast brought to you by Creative and Projects. You guys already know what it is. Until next week, I want you to keep on creating from the inside out. All right, y'all. Peace and love.